Following the Cambridge Analytica scandal is still unfolding. North America correspondent Connor Duffy reports from Washington.
He has plenty of friends on the social network he created, but Mark Zuckerberg's reception in Washington was anything but friendly.
If you and other social media companies do not get your act in order, none of us are going to have any privacy anymore.
Mark Zuckerberg had to explain how Facebook allowed data from 87 million users to end up with Cambridge Analytica, a shadowy UK company that helped elect Donald Trump.
And it was my mistake, and I'm sorry. I started Facebook, I run it, and I'm responsible for what happens here.
There were plenty of awkward questions and some revealing answers.
Is that a fair thing, Mr. Zuckerberg? Would you be comfortable sharing with us the name of the hotel you stayed in last night?
No.
There was a pledge Facebook would crack down on the Russian operatives who spread fake news benefiting Donald Trump.
This is an ongoing arms race. As long as there are people sitting in Russia whose job it is to try to interfere with elections around the world, this is going to be an ongoing conflict.
And confirmation that the company's cooperating with Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation of Russia's meddling in the 2016 election.
Have you or anyone at Facebook been interviewed by the Special Counsel's office?
Yes.
Have you been interviewed?
I have not. I have not.
Others have.
I believe so.
Donald Trump is increasingly angry at Robert Mueller following the FBI raid on the president's personal lawyer, Michael Cohen. Mr. Trump believes he can sack Mr. Mueller.
Certainly believes he has the power to do so.
Michael Cohen has broken his silence, defending his payment to porn star Stormy Daniels as perfectly legal. Mark Zuckerberg may have escaped day one of his testimony before Congress without suffering any fatal blows, but many watching at home remain suspicious of his company, and the threat of major fines or regulation remains. Connor Duffy, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
Donald Trump has cancelled his first official trip to Latin America, saying the US needs to focus on its response to the suspected chemical attack in Syria. At the United Nations, Russia vetoed a US proposal for a special panel to investigate the alleged attack, dubbing the bid as dirty political games. Washington correspondent Zoe Daniel reports.
His plans to visit South America off, the president was on an international lobbying mission from home.
We see the suffering of the Syrian people. And me and the president, we see eye to eye that this matter has to stop immediately. We cannot tolerate with a war criminal, we cannot tolerate with someone who killed more than 500,000 of his own people.
This video purportedly shows damage from the weekend's alleged chemical attack near Damascus, where at least 60 people, many of them children, died a horrible death. Donald Trump's also been speaking with leaders in France and Britain, working out how to respond as survivors seek shelter.
This is the first phase of the evacuation since the chemical attack on Douma. There are nearly 200 people here and no hospitals. Also, the civil defence weren't able to recover bodies from under the rubble inside Douma.
A US-led resolution for an independent investigation into who's responsible for the chemical attacks was vetoed by Russia at the UN Security Council.
History will record that on this day, Russia chose protecting a monster over the lives of the Syrian people.
UN weapons inspectors are expected to head to the site. It's unclear when.
They're the gold standard in collecting this type of information, and we would certainly rely upon them, as we have in other instances, to take a look at that.
Russia backed the deployment of UN weapons inspectors, but that support's been read cynically as a way to fend off potential US-led airstrikes while investigators are in the country. Zoe Daniel, ABC News, Washington.
The Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet has confirmed it suspended an employee who's been arrested by Northern Territory Police for alleged indecent acts